Hey guys, today's video is not about equalities this time, but inequalities. And it's exactly what it sounds like. The two things on the opposite sides of the inequality aren't actually equal. So, right here, we have a greater than sign. And I'm assuming that you guys learned a little bit of this in pre-algebra or, middle school, stuff like that. But this means x is greater than 1. This is x is less than 1. This is x is greater than or equal to 1. That's what the little line under that means. And this is x is less than or equal to 1. People talk about alligators and eating the bigger one and whatever. You can look that up and memorize it like that. But I'm more going to talk about what it really represents. So let's just take this x is greater than 1. We're going to think of it visually on a number line. We're saying that this variable is, again, it's a variable. We don't know what it is. X isn't equal to 1. It's only greater than 1. And, again, it's not greater than or equal to 1. It's only greater than. So, on this number line, it would be all the numbers starting not at 1 again, because it's not actually equal to 1. And then, but, everything greater than 1. So it's going to be, I'm going to draw it a little bit above so you can see it. But it's going to be all the numbers to the right of 1, which makes sense. And whenever you're graphing or plotting something like this, you're trying to show that this is x is greater than 1 and not x is greater than or equal, you draw a point, but you don't color it in, right? This is just a circle. If we were to graph this, then I would color this in. X is greater than or equal to 1. It means it includes 1 in this set of numbers, whereas this one does not include 1 in the set. And that's literally all that is. I mean, we could say x is less than 1. This would be an open circle going that way. X is less than or equal to 1. You would fill in the circle. And that's what it means on the number line. It means that you have a variable and it's equal to all the numbers, whatever, any of these signs, compared to 1. Okay, but what happens if you have, negative x is less than 1, right? So let's think about this. Negative x is less than 1. What if we just, tried plugging in random numbers and seeing what happened? If we plugged in, 1, we would say, okay, negative 1, right, because we just plugged in 1, is less than 1. That's true. We'd say, okay, negative 2? Yeah, negative 2. Sorry. Just regular 2. If we plugged in regular 2 for this, it would be negative 2 is also less than 1. So we can see a trend, right? Anything that's greater than 1, at least for now, we're seeing everything over here is going to make this inequality true. Let's try 0. 0 is also less than 1. Now, but let's keep trying to plug in numbers now, maybe on the negatives. If we plugged in a negative 1 over here, we would get a negative 1, which is 1, is less than 1. Now, 1 is not less than 1. It is equal to 1. So that means that's not true. So the pattern that we're seeing over here is that everything that is greater than 1 again is equal. It makes this inequality true. So a lot of times people would be inclined to be like, oh, okay, well, this is just regular solving for a variable. You can cancel out this negative, right? Multiply by negative 1, multiply by negative 1. And so now we get x is less than negative 1. But what we just showed, right, was that actually x is greater than negative 1. Because everything here, this could be 0 and it would work, right? It could be 1 and it would work. So whenever you are multiplying or dividing by a negative, you always have to flip the sign. Think of it as flipping the whole axis, basically. You can't just leave the sign when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative, but you can leave it when you're just adding. If this was x is less than, y plus 1, if you subtracted this, you can leave it. This would be x minus 1 is less than y, and that's totally fine. Also, let's say we wanted to represent this and we just wanted to switch the sides, right? Let's just say we had x is equal to 5. Well, 5 would also be equal to x. The way we would do this would be y now is greater than x minus 1, you have to flip the sign as well. Think of everything as like a reflection, or, a reflection of what it just was. So make sure that these are opposing signs.